540 to the 540 show. All the info that you do not know from the stuff outside. The 540 to the local news is on our show. That might have been silly. Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Thomas, and this is the 540 show.
This is a product of Fast Track Studios.
Like us, love us, or hate us, we are back on the 540 show. I'm Ryan, as always. I'm with Thomas Robinson.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Yeah, this is another episode. It's been a long week, but we are back again. Looking forward to another big show.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to another great episode. I like how you said that it's been a long week, because you know what the funny thing is these weeks are very long, and then they also, so much happens that they almost happen so fast, but when you look back on it, it's like, yo, so much
Yeah, like every time I do this show,
last week.
every time I do this show, I'm like, wow, it was a long time since we did the last one.
Yeah.
And I remember it was only a week ago.
Yeah. But
About
hey,
a
we're
week
back.
ago.
About a week ago.
But I hope everybody else had a great week.
Yeah.
I hope it didn't feel too long, because it felt long. You probably had a bad week. I know there was some tragic stuff that went down in Las Vegas. We're definitely going to get to that in a little bit later in this segment. But we want to start it off on a little bit of a more positive note, because everybody's been seeing that in the news. So I hope everyone had a good time at the wiffle ball meetup. That was a really good time. Thanks for coming out to Kenmore Park. My man Thomason hit a couple Thomason. I just put your
Thomason.
first name and last name together.
Thomason.
It sounds like a
Thomason Robinson.
Thomason. Let's change your name to Thomason.
That sounds
But
good.
yeah, you hit a couple boom saucers out, and it was really fun time. Thanks to anybody that came out.
Absolutely. I think we got another one coming up, too.
Yeah, check the Facebook Monday. Every
Monday.
I know it was Tuesday this week, but check it every Monday. We will try to have it posted on the Facebook and even on my Twitter and anywhere else that you look for information about us on, and we will post it where to meet us at.
Absolutely. And you guys can always make sure to checking it out at fasttrackstudiosllc.com. All the way to the right, there's a 540 show tab. Click that, and it'll send you to a calendar, and that calendar will have all of the awesome stuff that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, and then remember, we talked about this a little bit on the previous shows, just a little bit, but I want to get a little bit more into this. We have a November 10th. Fast Track Studios and the 540 show will be at a job fair at Massaponax High School. I'm really excited about that.
That is really cool. So am I. I have not been. I go to the high schools for, my little sister's field hockey games.
You were just out there the other day, right?
I sure was. Shout out to Massaponax Panthers always. They played very, very, very hard game. Lost by 1 in believe it's the first overtime, but it's sudden death, so I don't know if it's technically overtime. So
Yeah, that's
whatever-
overtime.
whatever
That's
they call
overtime.
that. But yeah, so I like going back there as much as I can, and it's awesome that we are doing some kind of cool things now, and that we can show what we've been doing and let some other people know kind of the track of how they
Yeah,
can
I really look forward to getting in there talking
getting
to
up
the
in there.
kids, because I've had a lot of kids follow me on Twitter from Massaponax, so I feel like they're interested in what we're doing. And I remember when I was in high school, this never even crossed my mind that
Yeah.
something like this was even obtainable. So just like getting different occupations in there, different jobs, different stuff like that. I think that's really cool, because like I said, when I was in high school, I was just on like that. Let's go to the 4-year school and then let's go find a job like my dad had, or like
Well, that's what
so-and-so's
you're
dad
told.
has. Yeah. So I just want people to know, hey, there's other avenues. If you really like making music, if you really have some art, if you like art, if you like this, if you like that, it's all obtainable for you to do in today's day and age, which is really nice about what's going on.
Absolutely. If you had to give someone one piece of advice as far as how to go out and get it on your own, what would you say?
What do you mean as far as go out and get it on your own?
Like just entrepreneur, just deciding you want to work for yourself and hustle and grind.
The advice I would give them is like one day at a time, because
Great advice.
if you think about the long term too much, it kind of bogs you down a little bit about how far away things can be. When you work one day at a time, go one day at a time, you just cross that day off your schedule as you go. It gets there before you know it. And just make sure every day you're getting better, really.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really good.
I mean,
advice,
because every day, everybody every day makes a decision to do right or wrong. Everything we do is right or wrong. Is it right for me to stand up, right for me to sit down? just do more rights on your daily basis, and things will probably pan out for you.
Absolutely. Good deal, man. Real quick, I just looked behind me and noticed that you guys watching the video might see that there's slightly different signage sitting back up there. That's just, I wanted to show this off a little bit. That's
The new sign you got.
It's gonna be one of the signs we're trying to get put on the front of the building. It's nice and gigantic, so
If you can't see it, it says Fast Track Studios.
absolutely, and it's so big that you should be able to see it from sitting on the train. So people who are rolling in the train from DC, coming on down south, or I believe they're trying to work it all the way down to Richmond. People coming on up and stuff like that, so everybody can see Fast Track Studios' sign. So yeah, that's just what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to my boss at work. I played in a charity softball tournament last weekend for a little girl who has cancer. It was really fun. I got out there Saturday, played some softball, some men's league softball. It was a really, really fun time. It was cool seeing those guys in their element because that's something they do every weekend. And I remember I used to play soccer, travel around, and I remember what it was like to go to tournaments. But these guys do it a little differently.
Yeah. So what kind of, were they every day? You said every day or every weekend softball?
A lot of these guys are every weekend softballers. They're going to tournaments. I mean, some guys are getting paid to play. These guys have uniforms.
Getting paid to play. That's awesome.
These guys are really good. So it was fun to watch. I mean, they can hit the ball a long way. So there's a couple guys out there just hitting moonshots. And I was out there enjoying myself. I had a really good time. It was a really cool event. And I thank my boss, Chris Mason, for having me out. All
right. Shout out to Mr. Chris Mason.
Yeah, but a little bit of sad news on the show. These things are always hard to deal with. I always find these the toughest ones to handle, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. We had a former Massachusetts Panther pass away. Tristan Medina passed away last Saturday. That was terrible news for me to hear. Waking up Sunday morning and seeing that on Twitter and everything like that as the information started to come in. From what I know, Tristan was a really good kid. Coach Ludden, I read what he had to say about him. I didn't personally play with him, but I know he graduated 2 years ago. I played with his oldest brother for a year at Massachusetts, and I know he's got a younger brother on the team now. So I know the Massachusetts community is really, really good at rallying around and picking our brothers up when stuff like this happens. So RIP to Tristan Medina. That was terrible, tragic news, and my prayers and thoughts are out with his family and his friends and at this time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, just like you said, Panthers have a way of just coming together when stuff like this happens. Very, very few times as we feel some type of a tragedy, and everybody, there's those awesome moments where everybody puts all that dumb stuff aside and pays attention to what's genuinely important in life.
Yep.
And from what I've heard about this young man, he was an awesome kid. Wasn't really involved in the tragedy, unfortunately, but just shout out to him, his family, his friends, and
and tell your loved ones you love them.
Absolutely, yeah. Take advantage. Yeah, take advantage of the time.
Call up
you
your
have.
mom and tell her you love her, because you just never know whose time is going to be when. You can't predict that, so make sure you're. If you're having a bad day, just remember that could be the last time you see somebody. So make sure you always you leave a room and you make people feel like you love them. That's kind of something I always try to do, no matter what you got going on. Mm-hmm. So hey, we had to get knocked that out, and it's sad. It really is, but it's something that we had to touch base on and make sure we do. And there was another tragic thing that happened. Unfortunately, this segment's getting a little bogged down. What'd you say? Las Vegas. There was a tragedy in Las Vegas where 59 people were killed and over 500 people were injured by Stephen Paddock, who was on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel and had fully automatic weapons and fired upon a crowd at the country music festival there.
Absolutely.
And wow.
And
all I gotta say is wow.
This is something that I want you guys to hit me up on. Hit me up on my Facebook. Send me a message. Let's talk about this a little bit. I'm extremely interested in everything that's going on with that particular situation because, I think that this is genuinely more than what is meeting the eye. I think quite a few people are on that very same train, and I want to know what you guys really think about it. I see a lot of not really back and forth. There really is no back and forth because there's no disputing all this evidence that's rolling in. But if you guys think that there's a little bit more going on than what's right in front, then hit me up. Let's talk about that a little bit. That's something I want to talk about.
Yeah, I've read a lot of the stuff going on. I think it's all really.
Easy.
I just hate when these tragic things happen and people want to just point fingers I get it doesn't happen every day, and when this kind of loss of life happens, people almost can't fathom it. Like, how is this possible? These things have been very stuff that people always say, I could seen this coming. I can tell this was going to happen. This was going to happen one day, and then when it happens, they wonder how it happened. Well, all these people are saying, hey, this is going to happen one day. Well, when it happens, why are you trying to say there's more into it? There's a conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you saw it coming, then why is it so not fathomable to you now? You know what I mean?
I have not heard that part of it. The people say that they can.
It's fake. The government did it.
No,
that's not
BS. I don't. That's going way too far
Yeah.
into it. I'm not talking that deep into it. I think that it is very interesting to see. I think that there was more than one shooter. Period.
I think what he did is he had different guns set up in the room to where he was using he was shooting some guns and there was other guns firing at the click of a button. You know what I mean? Set up, maybe back in the room a ways to where you can hit because there's guns that do that. And he had, so many guns in there. It's not, I would think maybe he set up a bunch of guns. He's maybe standing there with one gun, but he's got other guns just popping off in that general area at all times. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm very interested in the situation. It's just super interesting. I
just think it was from 9 to 11 minutes. And with all the guns he had, I think you can really do some damage in 9 to 11 minutes. So to think that he couldn't do what he did by himself, I think is a little bit of a stretch. And like I've seen all these videos of people saying they saw flashes on other floors. You look back 2 hours before the concert, there was still flashes on that floor. Somebody was probably in there having a rave, having a good time. And like I said, it's a tragic situation. I don't like getting too much into the politics and stuff of it. At the end of the day, it was really, really, really sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
really sad.
Yeah. I mean, you go to Jason Aldean was the lead.
Yeah,
performer.
it was just a festival in general. Country festival.
Just country folks are some of the least violent folks out there. In terms of, just hospitable, which is what they stand for, what they're about.
And people going to concerts in general are always just having a good time in festivals.
For a good time.
For this to happen, it also goes to show you when these situations happen, react as fast as you can, because a lot of people I saw, in videos here and there, audio waited. They were like, this can't be real. I don't think that's real. No, if you think it's even kind of close to real, get on out. Get on out, because there's people that probably, really wish that they would have got out when they've heard the first sound instead of waiting around being like, is that fireworks?
Right. And,
what I mean?
and I'm not going to sit here and call myself the type of person who's looking over my shoulder every minute about that kind of thing. But when I watched the video for the first time and I saw or heard cat, 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 it was probably the sixth cat.
Yeah.
Then I was like, that's a gun. Somebody needs.
Yeah, I would have too. But also, you think you're in Vegas. There's always something going on. Fireworks. There's a concert. You're just like, wait a minute, maybe the speaker's messed up. But yeah, listen. Our thoughts and prayers from the 5-4 show in Fredericksburg, Virginia, are with everybody in Las Vegas during this time. Tragic situation. Like Thomas said, hit us up and let us know what you think about everything that happened. Like I said, either of us, I don't think there's a conspiracy. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I don't know what he personally thinks.
I think there's a little more going on, personally.
I think there's a lot to be figured out, yes. But I think that as far as who did it, I think he did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, maybe he had help in the room. There's been speculation on that, but we won't know. I really just hope we figure out more in the coming days so we can get a little bit of closure on why this guy would do something so heinous.
Right. So, hey, let's bring a little bit more love and positivity into the world. And speaking of something that brings some love and positivity, some golf. We haven't gotten a chance to get out there, man. It's terrible. It's terrible.
We haven't played golf in a long time, and
it's awful.
I think it's because the last round we played, we just got beat up. We got dejected. It beat us down a little bit. So I say we got to get out there soon and change that around.
Yep, that's right.
Maybe one of our meetups soon will be a little bit of golf outing.
That'd be cool. Cameron Tubbs, Mr. Cameron Tubbs. Anytime you'd like to join us out on the course, we'd love to have you out there. Who else?
Shout out right on the show. John, we got to get John back out there.
John, we need to get you out there.
He's a good best ball partner.
That's right. Sean used to swing the club a little bit. Let's see if
Sean sucks at golf.
See if he's been working on
No, until he proves to me he can get better, he sucks at golf. He does too many bits on the course for me. Sean, I'm actually gonna text you after this and make sure you listen to the show, because I need you to take it more seriously when you're out there, bub. All right, just a little bit more seriousness for me, because I can't be out there with you hitting the ball when it ain't your turn, you getting in the way, and then you get mad, and then you get frustrated, and you want to sit in the car. I want to see you compete. I want to see you try to putt for double bogey.
There you go.
All right?
Double bogey? What?
I'm saying, like, he gives up on the third shot.
I thought you were doing a bit.
Try to scramble up there and make a score. Make a score. Don't just put 8 down on the scorebook and let's move on. No. No.
I used to write
You
down
get that
eights.
ball in the hole.
8 for days.
Yeah, you used to do that a lot. I used to hate
Eights-
that too.
eights for days.
People that just play the hole and then pick up the ball, I ain't gonna finish it.
And I was
Well, why'd you
bad.
even tee off?
I was bad when I started.
So?
I could not hit that ball.
Every shot's another shot to get better, my brother.
Yeah, well, I figured that out now, so.
But remember, you can walk into Fast Track Studios. Thomas has walk-in hours. You can find all those on the website and everything like that at fasttrackstudiosllc.com. The silly. We got a big show coming up. Lots of stuff to talk about. You remember Ducks the police dog? Yeah, well, the guy that shot him got sentenced. I got a little bit of news on that.
Ooh.
Master Parks took a tough loss to somebody they've never lost to. And have you been watching any good shows lately?
I have. Designated Survivor is back. Empire is back. I got Game of Thrones. It's on, man. I got a couple shows. Guess what? I just started Arrow, and it's great. I got a bunch of shows. He asked.
I was saving that for another segment because I just wanted him to say I have, and then we'll just get on to him in a later segment.
And I just
So
shots
we
fired.
we won't talk about any more shows because you know now what shows he watches. But we will be right back with the local flavor segment.
Boom. Any good shows you've been watching lately?
You start naming all of them.